This is the healing blog that I created because I wanted people to go to a place where not only can they listen to videos that I did, but they can also read things and I can put links in. So this has just been set up. I had it before, but it really didn't have a lot on it. You can follow here, and that way you can get any of the new updates that I do. One of the things that I just did, because I seem to be getting a young audience, I didn't expect this because, of course, I'm old, and but people are looking for answers and they're looking for support and help and to feel better and to like themselves. And this is my biggest wish for everybody is that they figure out who they are and they like themselves way sooner than people like my age even had the dream of doing. So one of the other things that happens is that your brain doesn't get fully developed until you're about 25. And at 18, you're legally considered an adult. But so many kids between 18 and 25 make a ton of mistakes, including myself. And just remember, my mistakes lined the sidewalks from the East Coast near Canada all the way to Florida. And we're allowed to make mistakes. That's what growing up is. It's but I want the younger crowd to make fewer mistakes because now there's social media. When we made them and the dumb things that we did, no, you lived with three people that found out. You went to a stupid party and you did something dumb, and a couple of people found out, and nobody even talked about it later on. But in today's world, there's people taking cell phone videos and audios of everything that everybody does. And what you don't want to do is destroy yourself by something dumb you're doing in your 20s that's going to follow you forever. You kids in high school still need to even be careful what they write in their yearbooks because you have people going back into your yearbook 20 or 30 years later and trying to use it against you when you're a kid just having fun and saying goodbye to a bunch of people. And people that want to hurt you are so desperate, they want to do anything they can, including not let you have your authentic life and make your authentic mistakes and oops, be forgiven. So the most important thing to do when you're on social media, number one, is use it as little as possible about your private life and your private pain and your mistakes. So for example, if you got drunk at a party and you went and threw up and, whatever, you don't want to put that on social media, not Facebook, not Instagram, not anywhere. You want to keep that to yourself and then learn your drinking limit like everybody does, but you don't want that to become something that someone's going to bring up when you have a wife and a family and they're talking about it 30 years from now. You also have to be careful where you're going in your 20s now because so many people have cell phones and they're taking videos all the time. There's people taking videos when everybody's at Disneyland. When I was young and we had to have cameras and mail off our film to be developed and get it back a week later when we got our pictures. Now you can have instant things and people that make videos and you don't even know about it. And there's people that are jealous of you. They might even try to trick you in a conversation and tape it without you even knowing about it. So everyone has to be more careful they don't get set up. So all the things that you need to do when you're lost and you don't know who you are is don't put all that on the internet. You need to find your way and do some homework and research and figure everything out, but keep all your comments and private things and all your confusion and all your questions off of social media because, again, when they're looking for something against you later, they're going to dig it up. And try not to swear on here. So many people are using incredibly disgusting language and swears, and that is going to come back and bite you when you want to work somewhere and you want to get hired. So these are really important things that you should do. People need to make a real photo album and not put a virtual photo album on Facebook or Instagram, because everybody is downloading all of that information against your knowledge without you even knowing it, and keeping it and having face identification of you, your friends, your kids, whatever. You need to actually make a real photo album, and you should have a separate camera from your cell phone, and just use it and upload photographs into some place like Walgreens or a pharmacy that's near you. You shouldn't use your cell phone as your photo album, but everybody's doing it, and they don't understand that that's not private. It's actually federal property. Anybody can access your phone if they need it, and it's being downloaded without your consent. You also want to not make judgments of others because you don't like to be judged. And I'm trying to tell everybody not to seek fame or huge fortune, because it comes with so many downsides. You need to find out who you are and where you belong, and don't compare yourself to anybody. I put do not bully, even if you were bullied. You need to heal from your pain, and you don't want to carry it around and look to victimize people because you've been hurt. When you heal yourself, you don't want yourself to hurt, and you don't want to hurt anybody else. When you don't heal yourself, you want everyone to be miserable because you're miserable. So anyway, there's a whole bunch of things I put on here. And then this article is called How to Ruin Your Life in Your 20s. It was written, I'm going to find out who in a second, but it was written on September 5th, 2018, and it is amazing. So it's an article by Jonathan Pokluda, and he's a pastor from Dallas, Texas. This article is amazing, and it talks about how to ruin your own life in your 20s, because you think when you're an adult you can do whatever you want. So he explains how this was such a big lie that he thought he should do and didn't. Live outside your means, and a lot of people did that. They taught us to spend and live in debt and create a good life even if we couldn't afford it, and then we had to spend our whole life fixing it. Feeding addictions, and they're talking about any kind of addictions. And if you feed them, they grow, and they grow stronger, and they're harder to get out of. So you basically need to starve your addictions and figure out a way to balance your life. Fourth thing, he said, run with fools. If you're running with fools, you're going to be foolish. And if you hang around with them, it's like, tell me who you walk with, I'll tell you who you are. So the resolution for this one is walk with the wise, and don't try to be popular and be with fools. Believing this life is all about you is the biggest thing. They taught everybody to be self-centered and to stop giving, and created all kinds of people that don't know how to share and give, and that's why our world is so dysfunctional. And the resolution is to serve others with your life, which is what I do and which many people do. And is, despite all of my hardships, I've loved my life because I gave so much and I got so much back. You should not live for immediate gratification. Everybody thinks, you're supposed to just have immediate fame and immediate recognition and immediate everything. You have to work really, really hard and keep good things in your life, because there's always rocks in your way. So his thing was hold out for God's best. And I agree, because if you just want, things immediately, you don't even tend to make long-term goals. You tend to settle because you got gratification right away and you think you don't have to work at anything else. When people avoid accountability, and we all have the tendency to screw up, our life is much harder because when you don't own anything, it stays with you. You need to own and be responsible for everything you do, for every mistake you make, for every screw up that you have. Say, yep, I did that. I screwed up and I'm sorry. I'm learning, and let it go. And you should not end up um, just avoiding all the things that are the result of decisions that you make. Own them and just say, I'm sorry, I'll do better, I'm trying. But they teach a lot of people to avoid accountability, which just causes more consequences. Who you become tomorrow is a creation of who you are today. And so when you are doing things correctly, every tomorrow is even better. When you when you travel with fools, who you will become tomorrow is the fool's puppet and their prey. So you need to be super, super strong and have a goal that allows you to make mistakes and be forgiven, but be super strong and keep your dreams going so that your tomorrows are always an achievement after what you did today. Like every night when I go to bed, I always say I couldn't have done one more thing. I'm so content with today because I fulfilled everything possible. But then for tomorrow, I'm a better version of what I was yesterday. So anyway, that is an amazing article for people to see, and he probably wrote more. I just found this link all by myself, and I've never heard of him before, but I just want people to have a focus of how to guide and save their lives, and certainly not destroy your reputation in your 20s so that you have to hear about it in your 30s, 40s, 50s, and later on in your life. And you have a right to a private life. Keep it off social media. People need to learn, and what I put in my article is you need to only be on here for news and maybe to learn a few things, but keep your entire life, your marriage, your happiness, your hard times, your weddings, your children. You don't want them having face recognition on your kids' pictures. Keep it off social media and just be on here to gain knowledge of things that are going on in the world and around you. But you should not, in my opinion, nobody should be spending more than 1 hour a day on social media. You just need news and headlines and then go live. And everybody does the opposite. They spend 6 or 8 hours a day on here, and they're not living, and they're not active, and they're not doing sports and having fun. And they live on their cell phones and they live playing those games that are all tracking people, and they're not having their best lives. So please read, everything that I have on here a little by little. Nobody has to be on here more than 1 hour a day. That's a great limit and a great balance for anybody. Thank you.